My role with GOMI is I'm the founder. I founded GOMI 13 years ago. Kind of education that we refer to as citizen stewardship. Young people are not being prepared in schools to properly address the real challenging and formidable problems of the 21st century, specifically as they relate to the environment. And our idea was to think bioregionally and act locally and to create a model. We would do that by bringing teams of young people with their mentors from throughout the Gulf of Maine watershed, which runs from the tip of Nova Scotia all the way down south to the tip of Cape Cod, thereby including 2 provinces of Canada and 3 states in the United States. So we have teams from each of these, and they work locally within their own communities. We run the summer leadership workshop every year. Some years it's in Canada, and some years it's in the United States.
I've got a passion for the environment.
I love GOMI. That's why I keep coming back.
If you value public speaking, if you value civic engagement, if you value stewardship in the environment, it allows you to combine all those into one and work on that and kind of be part of a team.
His mother asked him, "Are you worried about your speech?" And, "No, I do that all the time at GOMI."
This is so inspiring, and I came back from it with this renewed passion. Even though the Canadians are doing it in a town where they've never been before necessarily, they can take the skills back to their hometown.
There's a depth and an understanding that they are acquiring of natural systems. And who knows, maybe tomorrow or 20 years from now, they will be the forerunners as to how do we really understand and manage in a good way biological systems. Bringing young people outside the classroom into their community to learn from their community.
Does anybody want to take on the challenge of seeing if we can get our eel into this graduated cylinder?
One large eel. That's the biggest eel I've seen in these traps in years.
Nice work.
I think we all know that the world that these young people are inheriting is not the best world. My generations that came after me didn't do such a great job. So that means a couple of things. First of all, the youth are going to need to start helping to solve it and then eventually take over the solving of these problems. The skills that they're developing may lead them to find employment or jobs or careers in fields that don't even exist yet.
It's a way of reinforcing what they're learning in the classroom, in the field, in a real situation, and meaningful work to the refuge as well. Refuges are a unique place. It's an area that's set aside for wildlife. What better location for students to get out and see and learn about their natural world.
The Gulf of Maine stretches from Cape Cod to Nova Scotia, and one environmental activist has chosen all of it to be the stage for his second act. Mary Calvi of our New York station WCBS TV is here with his inspiring story. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning,
Great to have you here.
Good to be here. Retired teacher John Terry spent years at the head of his classroom, but his heart belonged to the sea. He wanted to leave the world a better place for his grandchildren, so one day he decided now is the time. And no one said it was going to be easy.
You know, it is like 20 below with the wind chill out here. How do you do this?
I don't do it too frequently.
On one of the coldest days of the year, senior citizen John Terry is out on Massachusetts' magnificent Great Marsh.
You could have chosen to pick up the golf clubs, go out and play golf every day, relax, not work.
How dull is that?
You decided to take over the Gulf of Maine watershed.
Terry is a man committed to defending one of the world's richest ecosystems by developing its greatest resource, its youth.
So this is John Terry. He's the man.
7 years ago, Terry founded the Gulf of Maine Institute after a lifelong career as an educator.
These young people who go through this program are going to be citizen stewards the rest of their lives.
How's the water?
His goal? To inspire student environmental leaders at annual summer workshops and throughout the year.
He's always telling us to get out there and to talk to adults, and he always reassures us that the adults will listen to us and that we do have a voice.
This is part of the Gulf of Maine watershed, yep.
Just north of Boston, in Chelsea, an environmentally overburdened community with high asthma rates, Terry is working with student activists from a nonprofit named Chelsea Green Space to reclaim their polluted community.
I think TJ's talked to you guys about the possibility of having the mini workshop here in Chelsea.
Lauren Doucette lives across the street from Mill Creek.
What was it like when you first looked out your window a few years back?
You couldn't see anything. You couldn't see the creek or anything.
A once abandoned salt marsh clogged with garbage that Lauren and Green Space helped bring back to life.
I look back on Chelsea when I first thought of it like, wow, this is just a dirty city. Nobody can really do anything about it. But then as I grew into Green Space, I realized that, wow, you really can do something if you put your mind to it.
I'm proud. I tell people, like, they ask me what I am, like, environmental activist, man.
Marsh elder has a more woody stem and it's a little bit denser, whereas pepperweed has a bit of a lighter stem.
In nearby Newburyport High School, students from Terry's Gulf of Maine Institute are working with Mass Audubon.
Are there any safety issues?
And Parker River National Wildlife Refuge. They're trying to stop the spread of an invasive plant called pepperweed that chokes out native species.
It's our community, and we want to see that the marsh is preserved.
Emma Rosenbaum helped pull out truckloads of pepperweed last summer. Sites carefully mapped in winter so permits can be filed for pulling in protected wetlands again this year.
What we need to do is do what these young people are doing. We need to get out and start doing things about the world that we live in.
A world where a grateful John Terry thinks people approaching retirement should rethink what they're doing.
Rethink and start up again?
Let's rethink and start up again because it isn't over.
John Terry is already recruiting student volunteers for the Institute's projects this summer. When I asked him which was better, the first or second act of his life, John said, without a doubt, this is his best act.
Wow, he's so neat. And the students seem to be learning a lot, really, really motivated.
They really are. More than just learning about the environment, they're learning about themselves, that they have a voice, and that they are ready for life.
Really empowering for them. That's a great story. Mary Calvi, thanks so much, and I hope your voice gets better.
Thank you.
Now here's Julie with today's Simple Solutions.